Hi, Mike Swantz here. I want to talk to you for a minute. Decided to take a little bit of a drive today, and I was going to show you something, but I ended up taking a little bit of a detour. Every once in a while in your life, you come to a decision point. I'm kind of at a crossroads, is where I stopped, which is kind of funny. But what I wanted to take you back to is back in 1999, I took about a 45-minute drive from where I lived to community college. That's where I was going to take you to. But when I got there, the gates were all closed up and you couldn't get in there. I wasn't going to break in, so I decided to turn around and go home. And I said, I'll just stop here and tell you what I was going to tell you anyway. And that is, in 1999, I drove to this community college. I wasn't a student or anything like that. I was actually applying for a job there, and I was going to a job interview. Now, I had gotten out of graduate school and left there with a master's degree in history, but I didn't have a job at the moment, and I had been trading in the stock market for about a year, very actively. And yes, I had investments before then, but this is when I really decided to really start trading. And I had grown my account a little bit, but nowhere enough where I could say I didn't need to work anymore, or things were not certain, to put it that way. And I was going to this job. But when I got there, I got out of my car and I walked to the interview, and I turned around and walked back to my car, and I decided not to go and work there. There are two reasons why. One was because it didn't pay that much. The pay back then was something like $13,000. That's how it is if you get jobs in community colleges. For the most part, it's part-time work with very low pay, and I didn't want to obviously be in that situation forever, so it'd just be a little starting point. It wasn't that important then in a financial sense, and I wanted to try to really trade for 12 more months and see if I could really make it big in the financial markets, the stock market world. And so here I am today speaking with you because I made that decision. And I want to help you reach your goals in the financial markets just like I decided to do back then. And that's why I put together this offer for my best materials. It's called the Total Portfolio Package. And it's not only my best materials, but I think the most important information that you need to set yourself up for the next 12 months in the financial markets. There's all kinds of tactics and ways you can trade the market, and there's trends, and things can change from year by year. What works one year doesn't necessarily work the next year. You see that in individual stocks. You see that in individual sectors. In 2015, the so-called FANG stocks are all the rage, or they've all just fizzled out over the past couple months, and they're no longer that way, and other leadership groups are starting to emerge, and more changes are going to happen. And that's what we got to be on top of, or what are the big ways to make money and adapt to the new situations and opportunities. And that's what the material I put together for you in this Total Portfolio Package is about. It's not just the best material I got, but the best material for the current situation that the stock market is in right now. This is what you have got to need to know in order to make this a big year for you in the markets, and I'm here to help you do everything you can to do it. You've just got to make the sort of same decision I made back 18 years ago now, to do it, to take action, get the materials, and go through them. And I've made it so it's a DVD. It doesn't take long to go through a DVD in short books. Very simple stuff, get you going. And then you're also going to get into the Power Investor Group, where you're going to get weekly updates from me, and also know where I'm moving my money at in real time. You'll know how my portfolio is positioned. The model rebalancing portfolio reflects that. and you'll get the money management strategies I use inside the members area too, which is also a critical component of all this. So I was going to take you to this community college to tell you this story and show you where I've made this decision. It was closed and locked up, so you couldn't get in there. You couldn't drive down the road to get in there. They had a chain fence up there. I'm not going to break in. So here I am. You know, it's winter time, but it's kind of an interesting little sleepy town area out in the country. I don't think I've ever driven through this spot before myself. So here we are, and I hope you go and do it and spend $1 and get started. It's just only $1. Yes, $8.99, $8.97 shipping, so $9.97 is the total to get going. I made it as cheap as possible as I can for you. In fact, I made it so cheap that it cost me a little bit of money just to get you going. But it's worth it. I just want to get you started, and then we can get on this market together this year and make this a big year.